Hello, welcome to Todd Miller TV. It's the day after Christmas, and I want to go over something super important called who pays the agents? Where does that money come from? There's a lot of people out there that believe that the buyer somehow pays for the agents, and I'm going to explain how that isn't the case. Okay, so first we're going to look at where all the money goes in a real estate transaction. Okay, so we'll say it's a $100,000 house. And we'll just say, for our purposes, that the buyer takes $100,000 and puts it into escrow to pay for the house. Now, of that money, 6% is going to go to the agents, 3% to the listing agent, 3% to the buyer agent, 92% it goes to the seller, so about $92,000. This is what we refer to as net proceeds. And then 2% is going to go pay for other things like title, escrow, prorated taxes, HOAs, and things that the seller is paying for on behalf of the buyer. Okay, so that's where all the money goes. Now, the question you have to ask yourself is, well, the buyer says, a lot of buyers out there will say, well, I pay for the agents because I pay for that through here because I'm the one that brings the money to title. I mean, if I'm bringing the money to title, I'm paying. Well, let's look at a scenario where there are no agents. So the $100,000 goes in to pay for the house. Let's say that it was a for sale by owner, and it's $100,000. The seller, because they didn't pay commission, they just get 98%, so they get $98,000. So that they're not really saving any money. The buyer's not saving any money. It's the seller's the one that's saving the money, so the seller is the one paying for the service. Because in this case, that they would get $98,000, they would get more money. The question you have to ask yourself is, are they capable of doing that? Most sellers aren't, so they hire an agent. So there's a way that buyers try to prove this all the time. They call us up and say, well, I want to buy the house, but I want to pay, I don't want to have representation on the buyer's side. I don't want to pay for that. I'm like, no problem. So they say, okay, $100,000 is going to be the thing, and then when it goes to record, they realize that the listing agent is now getting 6%. They go, whoa, wait a minute. I don't want representation. Why are you charging me 3% more? And I say, well, I'm not charging you. It's coming from the seller. And they go, yeah, but I could get a $3,000 discount on the house if I didn't have an agent. Here's where the fallacy lies. Because all of this takes place absent of this piece right here. And I'm going to circle it. And this is why. Okay? This here is the most important part. What this is this is the exclusive agreement between the seller and the listing agent. And what happens is when the seller is going to sell a house, the listing agent will say, I want an exclusive agreement to sell your house. And I'm just going to throw a number out there. You could pick any number between $1 and 100%, right? So we'll just say it's 6% to sell the house. This is exclusive. I'm going to put... That means it doesn't matter how this house sells, this agent's going to get paid 6%. Period. It doesn't matter if the buyer shows up and knocks on the seller's door and says, let's just go down to title and make this deal happen. The agent's going to show up and go, here's my exclusive agreement title, the house sold, I want my 6%. This here proves it doesn't matter what happens to the buyer. This 6% is set in stone at the listing appointment when the listing agent and the seller meet. The way it works is this. If there is no buyer agent, this 3% here just turns into 6% for the listing agent. He's already negotiated that commission. Now, what a lot of people are saying, that they come to me and say, well, Todd, I want to renegotiate with the seller this what you think, and so you only get 3%. I go, hey, it doesn't matter. I've already got an agreement in writing. He can't go back and cancel it now that I've procured a buyer. He's going to pay the whole amount. He's going to pay 6%. It's too late. If you don't want to pay, Mr. Seller, that's fine. Don't sell the house. We'll just wait for the listing agreement to expire, and then you can wait, another year or whatever after that, because anybody procured during the time when the listing was active, the agent's still going to earn a commission on it. So you have to be careful for that one. What this shows is that the buyer doesn't actually pay for the agent. They only pay for the agent if they enter into an agreement with the agent that's showing them houses to pay some money. That's the only way they're actually going to pay. Buyers, agents' commissions have already been negotiated by the listing agents. The buyer agent actually gets paid not from the seller, but from the listing agent directly. The listing agent's brokerage company pays that other agent what's called a co-op commission. Okay, so the moral of the story is, if you're a buyer and you believe somehow you're paying the agent, the buyer agent, you're not. It's a free service for you, essentially. The one thing I do get all the time is, well, since you're not representing me, I don't have to pay that 3%. Well, you want to sell the house, don't you? And I say, well, guess what? 2,000 listings over the last 4 years, they've all sold. It's not like they're not going to sell. This isn't 1980. Okay, it's not where 30% of the houses are going to sell, and then if we don't sell it, oh darn. So in that model, maybe you can negotiate with the agent a little bit, but here today it's not going to work. The houses are going to sell no matter what. Once we have the listing signed, it's a done deal. We're going to sell it. So renegotiating at that point, why would I do it? Why would I renegotiate something I already know I'm going to get? It doesn't make sense. So I just wanted to sort of dispel where that comes from. There's still a lot of people out there doing this, and there's so much misconception. I think the biggest thing is people take what they learned or what they experienced in a market in the 90s or the 80s or in some other marketplace, bring it to Las Vegas in today's market with today's prices and today's economy, and try to change it to how they want it, and they get frustrated when that doesn't work. So anyway, I just thought I would explain how that works. That is my update for today, and hope to see you on another video. Thanks.